Hey guys, so I just painted this crow and I've filmed a tutorial for you guys of how I did it. Yeah, sit back and enjoy. I hope you like it. And we just reached 100 subscribers on YouTube, which is awesome. So thank you all for that. I look forward to doing more. Alrighty, so the colors you're gonna need for this one are black, white, primary blue, and a brown. I also used a tiny little bit of green in the beak, but those are the main colors you're gonna be needing for this one. And yeah, you want a fairly clean palette. It doesn't really matter as long as the other paints are dry and you're not gonna mix them in together. So yeah, you also want a hairdryer and some thinning medium or Windex to thin your paints down and make them nice and smooth. Yeah. I usually start with the eye, so you want to build it up in layers, layer by layer, until it's fully white, because the background does take a bit of the white away. And then you add the blacks in, add the shadows, and then cover it up a little with a thinner white. You want to add that blue around the iris there. And then once again, you want to cover it with a bit more white to just blend it out. Then you go in with the dark around, and then I want to add the highlights for the little bits around the eyelids. And then you also want to add the main highlights in the eye to add that reflective shine and give it life. And then keep on going. I started on the beak here. That's always my next step. And you want to gently blend out the colors on your base layer of the beak. So up the top is where the sun hits it. That's where it's going to be the lightest. Down the bottom, it's going to be the darkest. And you just want to work along. That's the nostril there. So you want to work along and bring it all in. And you do need to go under the feathers a bit here because the feathers don't fully cover the beak. So you just have to imagine it a little bit and go under where those pointy feathers are. You can make it quite dark under there. Add in your mouth where the line's going to be. Add in your shadows. So underneath is always going to be darker. Especially like down the bottom where you see. And then I just used the brush to really just blend that in with a bit of white. Nice and easy. Added some more darkness. That's where the feathers are going to cover up again, the stringy feathers. That's where I added the green. It was just in my reference, it was a bit green, and I added a little bit of brown as well just to make it look like it had been in the dirt a little bit. Next you want to add the really like brighter highlights. So that's what you can see me doing there. I usually do little squigglies and things, which I did a little bit of here, and just the fine details for that beak. And next I start to block in the colors that are going to be there. So it's mainly black, so it's fairly easy. You just block in where the lighter spots are. That's what you can see me doing there. I blend it similar to the beak, but we're using a fan brush for this one, and slowly working it in. This is where I add the fine lines for those feathers, which we're going to add highlights to in just a minute. I also added a blue because they have slightly iridescent feathers, so that's going to be the blue highlights there. We're going to cover that over a bit later. This is just the highlights for those little tiny feathers. They're a bit annoying. They can be quite difficult to get right, so yeah, don't worry too much. Just do a couple. Don't do too many that it's ridiculous, But yeah, you just want to work it in, and then you can add those white highlights on the rest of the head as well. We do cover up a bit of this later because I found it a bit too sharp of an image for me. So then I go and do the rest of the blocking in here. It is a bit quick, but it's the same concept as the rest. So I always do it a bit rougher for the rest of the body, and then go in and add finer details later. So it's all about taking your time and just do what's right for you. Like everybody's going to have a different painting. This is me adding in more highlights near the end of my painting now. Just focus on those eyes and that beak, and then the rest of your painting falls into place a lot better. And crows are quite rough looking things, so that's why I didn't do too much in terms of smoothness. Yeah, there you go. So that's the extra shadows I'm adding in there just to really make that eye pop out, and the rest of those little scraggle feathers that crows tend to have. Yep, just all the final details and the little chin beard thing, just so that it isn't a fine cut edge around your bird. Here I'm adding the final highlight on the beak. Hold your hand steady, you know. And just a few finer highlights on everything to really make those colors pop. And then you just always want to make sure to sign your work, front or back, doesn't really matter, and date it if you want. And there you have it, there's the finished crow for you guys. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please like and subscribe and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.